In a quiet town, an old house stands empty. On its porch lies a lonely, thin dog, dirty, weak, and waiting. Every sunset, he looks down the road, tail wagging faintly, hoping for someone who will never return. The neighbors call him Buddy, though no one knows his real name. The house used to belong to a young woman named Sarah Miller, who moved away years ago after her father passed. She left in such a hurry that no one noticed the golden-brown dog chasing her car until it disappeared around the bend. Since that day, Buddy has waited, rain or shine, on the same porch, refusing food from strangers unless it's placed on the old doormat where Sarah's scent still lingers. Children passing by whisper, "That's the forgotten dog." Adults shake their heads, saying he'll leave someday, but he never does. When the sun sets, his eyes glimmer with hope. He listens to every passing engine, tail lifting, then lowering again, when it's not her. And yet, every morning, Buddy rises, limping slightly, walks to the gate, and sits, watching the road, as if today might finally be the day she comes back. One rainy morning, Mark Thompson, a middle-aged mail carrier, stops his van beside the old house. He's been delivering letters on this route for 15 years, but today, something in Buddy's trembling form makes him pause. The dog's fur is soaked, his ribs visible, yet his eyes, soft, patient, full of longing, never leave the road. Mark steps out, umbrella in hand. "Hey, Buddy," he says gently, crouching near the gate. Buddy tilts his head but doesn't move. Mark places a sandwich wrapped in foil on the porch, then steps back. The dog sniffs, hesitates, then takes a small bite. It's the first sign of trust. From that day on, Mark visits daily. Sometimes he brings leftover chicken, sometimes just a biscuit. "You're still waiting for her, huh?" he whispers one evening, rubbing the dog's head through the fence. Buddy closes his eyes as if remembering a touch he once knew. Mark learns from the neighbors that Sarah left for New York years ago after her father's sudden death. "Poor thing," one woman says, pointing to Buddy. "He never gave up on her." That night, as Mark drives home, the image of the lonely dog in the rain won't leave his mind. The next afternoon, Mark brings an old towel and a small dog blanket. The sky is gray again, Seattle gray, the kind that smells of wet pavement and old wood. Buddy sits in his usual spot, eyes fixed down the empty road. Mark kneels beside him. "You really don't give up, do you?" he murmurs, gently drying the dog's fur. Buddy doesn't resist. His tail thumps faintly, a small sound of gratitude. A neighbor, Mrs. Jenkins, walks over holding a cup of coffee. "He used to be Sarah's," she says softly. "That girl loved him like family. When her father died, she couldn't handle staying here. She thought the dog ran away after she left." Mark frowns. "She never came back?" Mrs. Jenkins shakes her head. "Not once." Mark looks at Buddy, lying curled on the porch steps. His eyes seem to shimmer with distant memories. Sarah laughing, throwing a ball across the yard, her voice calling, "Come on, Buddy!" The rain begins to fall harder, drumming softly on the porch roof. Mark covers Buddy with the blanket, whispering, "You're not forgotten, pal. Not while I'm here." Buddy sighs, resting his head on Mark's shoe, just a little closer to warmth than yesterday. Weeks turn into months. Mark's daily visits become part of Buddy's fragile routine. Each morning, the mail truck hums up the street and Buddy's ears perk up. It isn't Sarah's car, but it's something. Neighbors begin to notice the small change in him. His fur shines a little more, his steps are steadier. Children stop by with biscuits, and even the grumpy old man from across the street leaves a bowl of water by the gate. One Saturday, Mark sits beside Buddy with his lunchbox. "You know," he says softly, "you remind me of my old lab, Max, loyal to the end." Buddy tilts his head, eyes bright and trusting. Mark sighs. "You're waiting for someone who doesn't even know you're still here, aren't you?" The dog only stares down the road, tail gently wagging, as if answering yes. Later that evening, as the sun sets behind the empty house, a breeze carries the faint scent of lilacs, the same flowers Sarah's father used to plant by the porch. Buddy lifts his head, sniffing the air, tail wagging faster. Mark watches quietly, realizing this dog isn't just waiting, he's holding on to love, something most people lose too soon. One windy afternoon, Mark arrives to find a real estate sign posted in front of the old house. His stomach tightens. He looks at Buddy, sleeping peacefully on the porch, unaware that his world might soon change again. Mark approaches the sign, muttering, "Not now, not after all these years." He knows once the house sells, Buddy will lose the only piece of his past he has left. That same day, while sorting mail in his truck, he finds a letter addressed to Sarah Miller, forwarded from an old address in New York. He stares at it, heart racing. Could it be her? That night, Mark can't sleep. The thought of Buddy waiting for someone who might still be out there gnaws at him. By morning, he's made a decision. He searches online, scrolling through listings, social profiles, and old phone records, until finally, he finds a Sarah Miller, art teacher, New York City. He writes an email. "Hi, I'm sorry to reach out this way, but there's a dog named Buddy still waiting for you at your old home. He's been there for years." He hesitates for a moment before pressing send. The next day, he returns to the porch, whispering, "Maybe help is coming, boy." 2 days pass, the sky is heavy with clouds again, and Mark checks his phone more times than he'll admit. Still no reply. He parks near the old house and finds Buddy resting beneath the porch steps, his fur brushed by falling leaves. "She'll come, boy," he says softly, but doubt tugs at his words. That night, just as Mark is about to sleep, his phone buzzes. The message reads, "Oh my God, Buddy is still there? I thought he ran away after I moved. Please tell me he's alive. I'm Sarah Miller. Can you send me a photo?" Mark's hands shake as he grabs his jacket, rushes outside, and drives back to the house. He kneels on the porch, whispers, "Smile for the camera, old boy," and takes a picture of Buddy under the porch light, his eyes shining softly against the dark. He sends it. Moments later, a reply comes. "That's him! That's really Buddy! I'm coming home." Mark stares at the message for a long time, heart pounding. For the first time in years, the porch doesn't feel lonely. It feels like it's waiting for something real. Buddy lifts his head towards the stars, as if he already knows. Word spreads quickly through the small Seattle neighborhood. Sarah Miller is coming back. The townspeople, who once called Buddy the forgotten dog, now stop to check on him daily. Even Mrs. Jenkins plants fresh flowers near the porch. Mark, pacing beside his truck, can hardly contain his own excitement. "Just a few more days, boy," he says, scratching Buddy behind his ear. Buddy seems to sense something. His steps are lighter, tail wagging more often. He spends long hours staring down the road, as if his heart recognizes the sound of her name in the wind. That evening, Mark sits on the porch with a cup of coffee, watching the dog rest beside the door. "You did it," he whispers,